Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is LoyXP, and we don't cover live streams, but Cubfan did. So it's one stream day we can't skip, if only because it had a really good premise to it. This time, participants split up into two teams representing the Europe and the US in a Trident Enderpearl golf tournament on the Concorp Country Club territory.
If your team wins this competition, what should the other team do to recognize your victory?
I think it'd be really nice if they gave us Canada. You know, we never really got it in the War of Independence, and I don't see why we can't have it now.
The rules of it were spiced up with teams now being allowed to mess with each other by distracting them with music, snowballs, and pufferfish. On top of that, at any time one could demand the competition to nom on some chorus fruit and get teleported to a random spot nearby.
It might have helped. Oh my goodness me!
What? Impossible, come on.
We got this,
Jeez.
we got this.
In case you missed the excitement, not only are the VODs still up on everyone's channels, and Cubfan has it nicely repackaged into his episode 147, but another 9 holes will be played live next Monday.
So that is where things stand right now. Europe has 3 points, and the USA has 1 point. So USA needs to have a pretty good back nine to win the cup. So there's 9 holes left, and we're down by 2.
And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with another minigame of Cubs, the running of the Ravagers, sans Ravagers. Yes, the nuance of creating that one is that the beasts are to be let in last, after the exteriors, interiors, and victims of the fake streets of faux Spain are done. Cubfan potentially shifts the gameplay of it away from just running and screaming, too, as he implements the key item pickup spots and even shortcuts between parts of the map. Again, sadly we won't know whether these shortcuts will in fact become choke points until after the beasts are out and about, but that's what beta testing is for.
And this place is incredible. It is so detailed for being such a large scale. And I told him once he's done with the Ravager game, this whole place could be like multiple different mini games could be built in here.
While we're on the topic of faux Spain, Zombie Cleo's Tavern of Drinking starts filling in with wooden furniture and equally wooden customers.
And in the corner, we have a mysterious man, dressed all in black, waiting for very short people to come. I might have some short people walking into the
Pulling in every trick in the book on the poor mannequins, Cleo assembles a diorama of people drunkenly unaware that A, there's a ship raining cannonballs on them, and B, there's a giant sea monster devouring said ship, which would explain the lack of edible life in the local part of the ocean.
So whenever anybody tells you that there's plenty more fish in the sea, they're lying to you. There are no fish in the sea.
The lack of land-faring life everywhere, though, can be blamed on Azumavoid. There's a number of that he automatically murdered while working on the AFK room for the all-you-can-eat with a rose mob farm. A quantity, even.
The case right here is that maybe by using more obsidian, we'd take away that feeling like this is just the portal, you know? And now it does actually feel like that. It feels like it's more of a panel, and then the portal's there in the middle. So that was nice. And look at this dark oak.
The overwhelming amount of free stuff he's getting led him to a social experiment of sorts. Not far from Sahara, X marked a spot for a free wool charity. All a passerby hermit has to do to get their hands on a ton of free wool is to sign their name, the amount taken, and the reason for acquisition in a book at the Pillager armor stand, which False instantly helps herself to.
5, 6. Let's get 6 stacks. 6 stacks is more than enough for now. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like something bad's gonna happen.
On a roll for community projects, Azuma also works on a new stop for the Hermitcraft rail network, the Modern District Station, with only a thunderstorm break for charged creeper shenanigans.
Right, they're both here. That's not what we want. Ah, the wrong one blew up. Come on, you're closest. Yes, here we go. Whoa, 3 hearts, and it kind of looks like we got a zombie head, did I see?
What HRN can't do for you, however, is get you over to 1.14 land, just like the Nether Hub couldn't, until very recent times. Impulse, for one, hasn't been spending much time at Hermitville because, in his own words, travelling there kinda sucks.
This is like the worst way to get to a place. Rack all over and lava fountains pouring from the ceiling. This is terrible.
So with the replay mod now on deck, he spends part of his week putting together a fast, nicely decorated and ultimately safer nether tunnel to avoid all of those ladders and open air sections that are making the road trip a little slower. We can't all have Renbob's means of transportation after all.
Wow. Is that a flying RV?
Nope, it's the Battlebus. Where we drop in, boys. Maybe it's not such a bad thing that people have been staying on the main island though, since it means iTrade's book sales have gone through the roof. It's definitely an incentive for Impulse to once again fix his pufferfish activated door through to his secret villager trading area. In less secret villager news, Stress Monster has been hard at work breeding some more pom-pom-hatted boys to populate her iceberg castle. This week she's been breeding blacksmiths and armourers to ensure she'll never have to spend another diamond on crafting weapons or armour.
But what you have to remember with this armour is that I have not paid a single diamond towards making it.
In the process of decorating her new smithy, she discovers that only you can prevent armour stand fires.
Well, that's one way of getting rid of it. Just set it alight. Oh my god.
Thanks to her new friends Armour Trades and the pious librarians in the chapel upstairs, she manages to put together 9 sets of armour, all with stacking protections, but she only puts 4 of them on sale for now, encouraging her fellow hermits to swipe them up quickly. Having just dropped a ton of emeralds on all that gear, she sets her mind to recouping the green shiny rocks as soon as possible. Setting up a melon and pumpkin farm which is so compact and efficient it can double up in the new tower she's built, Stress brings up a couple of farmers to trade with, and pretty soon she's back on the road to Emerald City. It's awfully nice of her to have more people to be responsible for now that the only chickens she was looking after have cockled their last doodle-doo.
Claudia is no longer with us. It's extremely sad, but also she seems to actually be in there as well, which is, I mean, a little bit shocking. Didn't expect that. That's kind of terrifying.
Unfortunately, Claudia seems to have taken Mini False with her, so there's no one to share False Symmetry's new Hermitville tower with her. Not that the visitors are welcome anyway, seeing as how the drawbridge leading to it is not very welcoming, despite its bright colours. One for hospitality, False adds a moat around it too.
Maybe don't come this way if you can.
She makes the medieval district more defensible too, taking the Hermitville wall design and stretching it around the area. Quite fitting for a medieval town, quite inconvenient for anyone travelling without wings. Wells Knight finishes the exterior of his own Hermitville residence, and it seems someone took our remark from last week about illagers moving in to heart.
These guys just decided to show up out of nowhere and come and attempt to ruin my day. But little do they know, I have god armor, and I am essentially invincible.
I'm guessing he left the keys under the welcome mat, and that's how they got in. In a pretty amusing bit, it's not the only words of ours that came back to bite us. Last week we said Wells couldn't remember what a balcony is, which turned out to be not what he meant.
They said that I forgot what a balcony is. This, my friends, is not a balcony. What this actually is a rooftop terrace.
What matters is that whatever it is now in place, and the villa is ready for residents and interiors. Or should we say manor? A Lakeview one even.
And some of the elements of this, like the tower, this rooftop terrace over here, were taken from the Lakeview Manor from Skyrim.
Todd Howard, you've done it again. Wells Knight is now running Skyrim. Anyway, ad break.
I wish there was a shop that did this all for me at a competitive price.
There is!
You gonna pay for that, dude?
No. You should check out Sahara. How did you...
Poultryman out.
Shop at Sahara, and you will live for 1,000 years. Terms and conditions apply. You will probably not live for 1,000 years.
I don't know if I don't appreciate this graph. The worst part is it's probably quite accurate.
In a build-off that has brought us perpetually growing houses, mutant plants, slime block rockets, and the Up House, nobody really expected Renbob the hippie to claim the top spot. So it was a surprise when he strapped Scar's buried nuclear reactor to the back of his Winnebago. Sprouting wings and leaving a smoke trail that is definitely not unradioactive, the bus soars into the sky and boldly goes higher than Renbob has ever gone before without the use of certain chemicals. Well, actually, I guess there were still chemicals involved. Amateur nuclear physicist is typically not a position that lasts very long, and neither does Ren's lead, but at least he got himself on the board.
And it looks like Renbob might have secured us first place in a battle that we're not even a part of. Nice.
Back at the Dragon Dog Dojo, Ren Dog finds himself the victim of Grian's latest form of ambush marketing, which apparently also involved an acting contract of some kind, but more on that story later. After the chaos of stretching his thespian legs and collecting some profits from the Big Rocks docks, Ren returns to the calm environment of the dojo, explaining the Tao of sugarcane farms and the feng shui of how the item collection system works. Spending all this time in peace and tranquility, it's no wonder he decides to make his fortune creating loud noises as the server's first decorative firework merchant.
And I reckon, my dudes, we are going to become the primary fireworks dealer on the Hermitcraft server, and we can make some bling bling.
Iskal85 returns to Hermitville to discover Ren's magic school bus entry into the build-off, and only just notices that part of his house has been turned into an aquarium without him even realizing.
What on earth has happened here? It's totally an aquarium. There are fishes swimming in there.
But he's there to correct his mistakes, and after he's fired Mumbo's slime block rocket into Grian's build, he uses the giant magnet to attract a slightly larger target. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the plot of at least one Austin Powers movie. Anyway, even the addition of the moon isn't quite enough to claim the #1 spot, so the server finally gets its Moonbase Alpha, 1/8 of the expected size. Oh, and that arena minigame he was working on? He totally finished it last week. No biggie.
Oh, I actually finished the whole thing in a live stream, so as you can see, yeah, this thing is looking incredible, I think.
Elsewhere, Iskal's storage system is in dire need of decoration, and he has to get that from somewhere. That somewhere turns out to be Concorp's Terracotta Shop, which has a similar wait time to Sahara when you're buying directly from the Vex heads themselves.
Concorp's delivery speed is slower than Sahara, and that's true, that's true. I must have been standing here for 5 minutes. Thank you very much. I wonder if he would notice if I throw him 32 diamonds. I'm gonna try it.
Obviously, he hasn't seen the graph. After time-lapsing a factory building and adding a frankly very cool detail with campfire smoke rising behind the glass, Iskal returns to the scene of the graph to admit he actually doesn't know how to stock new stuff at Sahara, but also that they need a vault for all the pocket change they're making. So he builds a stylish, futuristic vault where you can now bear witness to all 4 of their diamond blocks. Meanwhile, his Hermitville house in a bottle is turned into an aquarium by a giant flesh-eating plant who is a wizard. I wish I was joking. Having found his out-of-control biology project in a blinded state, Scar not only applied the bandages necessary to ensure healing, but felt the only way to make the ensemble higher than Grian's cluster house is to put a wizard hat on top of it. Glasses and a wand followed suit, and now the Scara plant is casting Protego to stop the laser deflected right back at it. Wait, isn't Protego the name of Cleo's island?
Blocking all those laser beams for keeping your eyes nice and protected up there, looking super fancy. There's been no transfiguration gun in here. Wait, no? There's a giant pile of fish right there. They're all trying to escape. They're like, this is some kind of witchcrafted wizardry.
Seeing this, Grian swears to unleash his ultimate master plan that will finish the house race once and for all. But not in time for this week's recap, because videos take time, especially when you record them with Rendog.
For this episode, I don't actually have enough time to retaliate to this. I have probably the most insane idea. Well, let's just say it's going to contest this for sure.
On a quest to raise awareness of the Sahara shop, the person who already has the awariest fanbase on the server has made an advertisement clip featuring Rendog, himself, and the evidence that he took at least one of Mumbo's many suits. I suppose he needed that. His regular sweater must have gone pretty worn out by continuously smashing against the floor at high velocities. It is the return of the leaflet drop campaign, the best use of an elytra since losing it to Void Chicken. Grian even reuses some of the notes he's tried on Stress Monster a while ago in a bit of environmental friendliness. Lastly, now that his villager-powered farms are not producing as much crops as he'd like them to, Grian starts a crop farm in a hill under Sahara, pointing out that because the area is constantly loaded by visitors, it should take no time at all for the carrots and potatoes to grow. TFC also crops up near Sahara, if only to confirm that he does understand the ordering interface now, so next time he'll take all the sand the machine chucks at him. We'd say the experience hasn't been life-altering for him, but then again, he did admit that the old gold block texture looks bad, so maybe he's changing after all.
That is awful. It's the old gold, the old solid block of various materials. If they're going to look like that, that's terrible.
He certainly hasn't changed his approach to accommodation in Vault 6, which gets a few more experimental rooms, although he can't quite figure out how to get a room to look upside down. Mumbo is making an effort to relax, which isn't helped by the discovery of an ominous egg over his base, which he breaks a block off and it promptly explodes.
What?
After he's recovered from the shock, collected up all the cooked chicken and burned all the ice, he turns his attentions to shutting stuff down. First on the chopping block is his Evil Island villager trading setup, which gets overgrown with bushy vines. Next, he closes down his shops in the shopping district, which can be reincorporated into Sahara. So if you're looking for slime, pumpkins, or independent film projects, check out the ordering catalogue at your friendly neighbourhood megacorporation. Last of all, he returns to his pit full of farms and establishes a to-do list, which Grian will absolutely not discover and edit all the signs.
There's got to be other stuff that we can do. I mean, there's so much zero-tick things in Minecraft.
And finally, there's Zedaf with his own bizarre version of automation. Since one only needs so many flowers before they go mad, Zed hooks up his flower and seed farm to a minecart track between the greenhouse and the skeleton to bone meal converter. Said bone meal is to be dispensed as you ride, and the flowers it grows are then harvested by a water stream that also pushes the items to the railway. But what is the collection system for this contraption, I hear you ask? And the answer is, it's whoever rides in the minecart. Which would probably go smoother if Zedaf's own inventory wasn't filled with 50 kilograms of useful items at all times. Still, can't blame the guy for wanting flowers to be thrown in his path as he arrives.
And I guess if we're going to have to change it all around with T flip-flops anyway, it seems silly to do all the rest. So let's hop in and enjoy our lovely vegetative train ride, shall we?
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixelriffs. In the End Screen Theatre this week, I actually found a Minecraft fossil, which was harder than it sounds. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.